The bear attack that changed America, part 1. All right, you guys, so this is the first assignment that's going to be for this article about the bear attack. So there are 2 parts. The first part is pre-reading vocabulary, and then the second part are questions about the text. All right, so I'm just going to read through this. So if you're watching this as you're answering the questions, you'll want to pause this video as you work. All right, so pre-reading vocabulary. So for numbers 1 to 3, you're going to highlight or change the color of the sentence that has the best answer choice. So I'm actually going to do this a little backwards. I'm going to read the question first, and then I'm going to read the definition, and then I'll read the question again and pick my answer. Okay, just like we use the 5-step strategy in class. Okay, number 1, why might a soccer team be seen as formidable? A, they've never lost a game. B, they've never won a game. All right, so let's find out what formidable means. Okay, so a someone or something that is formidable inspires fear or respect because of its size, strength, or difficulty to handle. All right, so they cause you to feel scared. A formidable tennis player is hard to beat. Climbing Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world, is a formidable challenge. If your room is really messy, cleaning it might seem like a formidable task. All right, so let's look back at number 1. Why might a soccer team be seen as formidable? Okay, why might they be seen as a little scary? They've never lost a game or they've never won a game. So go ahead and think about that, and you're going to highlight the answer that you pick and then change the color or highlight it with a different color. Okay, number 2. Which home is rustic? A fancy apartment in a big city, a simple cabin deep in the woods. All right, rustic. Rustic means having to do with the countryside, as in the artist is known for his paintings of farms and other rustic scenes. Objects that are rustic are simple and rough in appearance. A handmade bench made from 2 tree stumps and a piece of wood is rustic. Okay, which home is rustic? A fancy apartment in a big city or a simple cabin deep in the woods? All right, number 3, which is an example of a stark room? A room with white walls and no furniture or curtains, or a room with comfy plush chairs, a colorful rug, pictures on the walls, and a lot of games lying around. All right, stark. Okay, so stark has a lot of meanings, all of which relate to something being severe. So it might mean a very plain, bare, or grim in appearance, so it's like plain. A single tree stood alone in the stark desert landscape. Or it means harsh or unpleasant to accept or experience. All right, so which is an example of a stark room? A room with white walls and no furniture or curtains, or a room with comfy plush chairs, a colorful rug, pictures on the walls, and a lot of games lying around. Okay, numbers 4 through 6. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to highlight or change the color of the word that best completes the sentences. So if we look down at 4 through 6, you'll notice there are 2 words. You have to pick which word makes sense. So number 4, I burned the chocolate chip cookies, but was able to salvage or prohibit a few of them. All right, let's find out what both of those words mean. Salvage. To salvage something is to save it from further damage, destruction, or complete loss. Divers might salvage old coins from a shipwreck, rescuing them from being lost at the bottom of the sea forever. If a house floods, the owners will probably salvage whatever they can, meaning they will save what is still usable. Okay, so think about that word salvage in the sentence, to save it from further damage. I burned the chocolate chip cookies but was able to salvage a few of them. Think if that makes sense. Let's see about prohibit. Prohibit means to not allow something by authority. Some schools prohibit students from bringing phones into the classroom. Many parks prohibit visitors after dark. All right, think about that one if that makes sense. So number 4, I burned the chocolate chip cookies but was able to salvage or prohibit a few of them. Number 5, the metal or the transformation of the gym into a winter wonderland for the school dance surprised many students. Okay, metal. Metal means courage or strength of spirit. In other words, it's the ability to continue despite difficulties. So it's you keep going even though it's hard. Transformation means to change completely. All right, so let's read the question again. Number 5. The metal or the transformation of the gym into a winter wonderland for the school dance surprised many students. Number 6. The museum prohibits or salvages flash photography, but taking pictures with your flash off is allowed. All right, so prohibit, we already read that one, but just as a refresher, when something's described as if it's prohibited, it's not allowed by authority, so it's not allowed. Number 6 for salvage. Remember, when we salvage something, we save it from damage. So let's think about number 6. The museum prohibits flash photography, or the museum salvages flash photography. Think about that one, pick your answer, and highlight it and change the color. Okay, so part 2 are text questions. And I told you the page numbers of where these go. So you guys only read 2 pages of this text for this assignment for this week. So the questions are only for those 2 pages. And I kind of told you which pages they're on. So for page 6, what is the setting of the story in the very beginning? And just as a reminder, the setting, it describes where the story takes place, when, the time of the day, and then the mood. The mood is the feeling that you get as a reader. So how's it making you feel? And this is just the beginning of the story. Number 2, list 3 details from the text that made their first day perfect. So tell me 3 things that made their day perfect. Number 3, what fact was shared about grizzlies that had been true for 57 years? Powerful and sacred. This is the next section. It's on pages 6 and 7. Number 4, list 3 things that you learned about bears from this section. So I want you to find 3 facts from the story about the grizzly bears and put them in here. It can be any 3, but it has to be from the section, powerful and sacred. The next section, truly safe, which is on page 7. Number 5, what was scary about Lewis and Clark's experiences with grizzly bears? So what did they experience that scared them about the grizzly bears? And then number 6, why were Glacier and Yellowstone National Park the only safe places for grizzlies? All right, if you have any questions on this assignment, just shoot me an email and ask for help.